Okay, now it's time for the blitz phases on the third turn of the scenario, starting with the Japanese blitzes. Now the Japanese are in a bit of a tricky situation here. There are lots of things to defend now. I could use a naval blitz to move these guys just to save them from being shot down. But that would be a bit of a waste. I think I need to protect northern Japan a little bit, because the ally player now has this landing party over here. They could rebase into, or return to base to Midway and then move out 1, 2, or 1, 2. So in the blitz phase, so I probably need to try to prevent them from doing that. So this guy needs to go out here. I can't cover Northwest Pacific, so I'll just go up with the first area unit to northern Japan. That's 3 steps of movement. I think I will have to do it as a free blitz. And anything sensible to do with another step. So that's it for the Japanese. They make a free blitz, and let's move on to the Allied blitzes. So the Allied will make a full blitz using 2 oil to be able to make some naval invasions. Now they can either try to go into Micronesia to try to take, for example, Mariana Island, or they could go in here and try to take Palau Island. White or Mindanao. Actually, this, I forgot, this is a Japanese controlled one. I don't know what happened to that one. So by doing that, they will prevent the Japanese from getting co-prosperity sphere point, and at the same time the US will get a point for capturing territory controlled by the Japanese without losing any of its infantry. So they could go the safe route, move the invasion force here and take Mariana Island, or they could go to Palau Island. I think we will try to take Palau Island. So the Pacific Squad will return to base here. 3rd Fleet and the rest of the fleet go to New Britain. These guys will go 1, 2, and the submarine can also go into Midway, because the transport is a 1 step and the sub is 1 step, so 2, size 2, that's okay for a minor port. And then move to sea area. They can actually take both Mariana Islands and Palau Islands. Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, let's go with a big fleet into Leyte Gulf together with the transport. They will only bring the Marines. And when you make a naval invasion, you can only invade using 1 step of infantry, I think. I think that's wrong. You can invade the islands with 2 steps. So do we? Yeah, of course the submarines can now go 1, 2 and threaten the convoy up here. These guys they could go up and try to take northern Japan, but they are quite crappy units, so I don't think they will succeed. And I don't want to go in here because that naval area will have a big shot at shooting down my transports, which would be annoying. So I think we will go out with some air cover into Micronesia. And then we have naval combat in Leyte Gulf. And there will be an air-to-air combat round first, where the US player will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the Japanese will have 1, 2, 3. So 6 for the US and 3 for the Japanese. So the Japanese roll a 2, which is a nothing. And the Allies on column 6, they will cause a step loss. And the step loss we will take on, that gives them an extra plus. No, we will take it on the combined fleet, and no effect on the US. Now for the surface combat, the transports give lots of pluses, so the Japanese will now fire at, they have 10, minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 1, 2, 3, so minus 3. So they were all on column 7. And the US will roll on column 11, 16, 17. 17 for the Japanese, and 17 for the US, and 7 for the Japanese. The Japanese causes a step loss. 17, 5, that's 2 step losses and a total retreat. So the first step loss will be decided by the Japanese player. We'll take it on the combined fleet. And the second one will be decided by the US player, which will cause a step loss on the second strike fleet. And then they both have to rebase. I think we'll go to Formosa. And the step loss caused by the Japanese we will take that on the Pacific Fleet. So, and then there's another sea area combat up here. The convoys counts as a friendly unit, so because the Americans now have submarine here, there will be sea area combat here. But the the Japanese can actually launch air units. So I think they can intercept with both of these. And submarines have a special ability, which means that they can just hide and go away and go home. Which in this case I think they will do, because otherwise they would be blown up. So they will just retreat back to Midway. And then we have land area combat. The Marines will take Mindanao. And Mariana Islands. And I think that concludes the Allied Blitz phase. So now we're going to build some units again. So the Japanese, they still have 1 oil and 5 resources. I definitely want to save an oil this turn. 5 resources. So our fleet is completely destroyed almost. So I want to... Oh, okay, first, before we do that, I should select two reinforcement units. So I will take the fort is nice. That can protect an island. We can just build it up on an island. And I think I will take the med tanks. Or should I take this main body fleet? Actually, it's a good defensive unit. Maybe I'll take that first. We don't have... Can't really pressure the Chinese so much right now, so we have to... I think we have to satisfy with that. And I will build this main body fleet for 2 points in Tokyo. That's 2 points. And I'll build a fort on an island somewhere. Probably... We should probably protect our oil resource. So that's 3. And then we can maybe 4. And 5, another unit. I think sometimes it's good to have lots of units instead of just having big units. And I think that will have to do for the Japanese. And the Allied player will take 2 of these units. And the Chinese have an armor unit here, which is... That's gonna be good for them, so we take that one. And let's take the flying fortresses. So now let's build. They have 1 resource in China. I'll use that to build this armor unit in Chongqing. that will definitely put a halt to the Japanese aggression, I think, for a while. And then the US have 2 oil and 5 resources. They will save 2 oil. They will repair some stuff. 1, 2. Let's repair one of the transports as well. Or maybe not this one. 3. And let's build flying fortresses for 5. And that's it. The victory points now. So, as you can see, the co-prosperity sphere victory point is quite hard to hold, especially if you're trying to focus on China as well. So, and we don't have the CBI victory point with Japan anyways. We now control 1, 2, 3, 4 land areas in China, Burma, India, and Southeast Asia, so still lacking 2 spaces to get that victory point. And the US, they were able to take a Japanese-controlled area without losing any US-based infantry. So they get the victory point that is called no casualties. And they get a victory point. Okay, so I think I will stop this video series here and have some concluding remarks.